But you said something interesting, which is a campaign in the UK that showed what would happen if immigrants were removed from the picture, right? And the big gap in health, especially education, many other sectors. This is the perfect entrance to heuristics. Because heuristics, the one that you just mentioned, is called loss aversion. Heuristics are traits that we have as humans to try and make shortcuts in making decisions. Because it's impossible to wake up and weigh all the options for every single thing that you are going to do. It would be exhausting. So we take mental shortcuts. Loss aversion is the most important one because it shows that we people, we value more the things that we have over gaining something that we don't have. In other words, we fear more losing something that we have than gaining something that we don't. We progressives, pro-Europeans, we tend to always be so positive, right? And talk about all the new rights, all the new opportunities. And the far right, they are really good at saying, you're going to lose what you have. You're going to lose your rights. You're going to lose your freedom. And they are very clever about that. We should start playing into loss aversion. And it was perfect what you said, because instead of saying, this is the list of benefits from migration, it will get you farther to say, this is what we would lose if we do a remigration strategy. People will be more triggered and will be more likely to agree with you if you highlight the things that they could lose that they already have than if you point in the direction of the things that they could gain. There is another heuristic. There are hundreds of them. I recommend that you go and check. But another very interesting one is social proof. If you see people doing things, for example, buying toilet paper in the middle of a pandemic, then you will go and buy toilet paper, right? But if you see immigrants and you see positive examples of immigrants contributing to society, opening their business, paying their taxes, then you will be more likely to say, okay, this is normalized and this is a good example. And this is why in our campaigns, we also need to put more upfront the contribution of immigrants to our society. Another heuristic is...
Well, tell me about the social proof with migrants. Like, an example of what can people go then to their crazy uncle or the persuadables at their table?
Exactly.
What is the social proof then around?
I will use the campaign that you said.
Yeah.
Because your campaign is perfect because it's loss aversion versus social proof.
Yeah.
Because it's a campaign that you see, and you can see how in the campaign it's a video where you see the people working in a hospital, and then you start removing the people who have an immigrant background, and then in the end there are like 2 or 3 people working from a from a bigger team. To your uncle, you can say, first, loss aversion. Your uncle already has his pension covered, so that's not an issue for him. But he probably has a daughter or a niece, and you say, can you explain to me how your daughter, your niece, a younger brother, or a friend who is younger for whichever reason, is going to get their pension, the public pension paid? Because public pensions are at risk if we don't do anything right now. Now, if we let hardworking immigrants come in a controlled way to contribute to our society, to open their business downstairs that, for example, sells whatever, shoes, or it sells toys, or whatever it is, or clothes, if they contribute with their taxes, then they are... and you see them every time that you go to buy your groceries, you see those businesses. Those businesses are contributing to paying Social Security, are contributing to paying to fix the roads, to pay for the education, to pay for defense, right? Let's talk about security now. Very important for many people. How are we going to pay for defense now in Europe that we are going to be less dependent on the US? That means huge amount of public investment has to go into defense. Where are we going to find the money? We need to find it from the immigrant-owned business that has just opened downstairs. And now, instead of you seeing this business as a threat, you will think that business is part of the solution.
Yeah. Wouldn't social proof also be demonstrations and protests? They're more associated, I think, also with left causes. But I remember, I think it was the day after Trump was inaugurated in 2016, the first one, and he signed into law the Muslim ban, the first one, and then airports were flooded. I went also to my local Detroit airport with signs, with protests, also people protecting people from these countries that were on the ban list from entering to try to reunite them with their families. And it was just like an overflow of support. And I think that was the first, I mean, and there was a lot of signs of backlash, to Trump's presidency in those early days and even now. But that was, I think, the really first clear moment that he's going to see some public pressure still against him.